Stormwind City, capital of the Noble Alliance. Though they hail from many different lands, the races of the Alliance convene in Stormwind on matters of trade and diplomacy. Their age-old enemy, the Savage Horde, poses an ever-present threat. But no matter the challenge, the soldiers of Stormwind stand ready to face it. As one of the ancient and elusive Night Elves, you have ventured forth from the sacred forests to aid your allies and protect the wilds. Azeroth faces countless threats. Bold heroes are needed to rise up and defend her. For the Alliance!
Ishnu Allah. My name is Eldahlia, and welcome to Eldahlia's World of Warcraft, One Character Collection Challenge. In this challenge, I will be starting with an entirely fresh account, on a brand new character, Eldahlia, the Kaldorei Druid. Starting from level 1, I will be hunting gear, toys, pets, quests, mounts, and achievements, striving to complete as much of the game as possible with only a single character on the entire account. If that sounds like a monumental task, that's because it is. I hope you enjoy the journey with me as I work to discover every last inch of the World of Warcraft. Ishnu Allah, here I am in Stormwind at last, free of the confines of Exile's reach, finally in the main stronghold of the Alliance. The statues are very nice, very imposing, very pretentious. I can smell the propaganda in the air. I'm eager to get started, only to be confined to the sidecar of some smelly yappy gnome. Does he not know that I am the yapper? I am the one who yaps? Disgusting. He drives worse than one of the forest ancients. Do you hear me, gnome? There are trees that drive faster than you. Instead of letting me explore and be confused, I am taken directly to the stable master across the city, where I receive a complimentary dinner. I'm still not free yet, however, as I'm dragged into a room with superfluous class trainers and told to pick a spec. Fools. How can I be anything other than cat? I sell my junk, save my dinner for later, and am chased across the district by the gnome who still won't let me do a wander. I pick up the cooking skill, slapping together bread for a while, find a lucky penny at the end of my adventure guide, and spend way too much time making sure my UI interface looks just right to efficiently enable my murdering and looting, while also keeping in mind that most of the screen space needs to be clear for the sake of viewers like you.
In the arms of the angel.
Like and subscribe for my efforts. I stash some things in the loot cave, pick up a quest for a camera that will enable much silliness and more achievements than you'd expect, then head over to Lorewalker Show. This is a new experience added recently to the game, giving you some base background information and highlights on certain events. It's a sparse explanation compared to what actually happened, but it's enough for anyone unfamiliar with the lore to understand some of what's going on. Their context spark notes, not a comprehensive essay. But it's a fun little questing experience, rather than a big wall of text, so I approve. Despite my propensity for yapitude, I actually don't like walls of exposition when it comes to gameplay and story. You should show the story, not tell it. Don't tell me I'm sad about something happening, show it in a way that makes me sad it happened. That's a basic rule for good writing, and it's one many people seem to forget. Anyway, while I've been ranting, I've also been doing the story to introduce Zira. She's pretty important for the war within expansion, but I won't have anything to do with her for a long time, as I won't be doing current content anytime soon. Zira originally came into the story as an artifact weapon for Shadow Priests during the Legion expansion. She was always pretty chatty, and if you ask Cho, he can tell you some of the more important lore hints she gave back then. I don't dig that deep this time, because I feel some things you should discover for yourself.
Yes, the blade is right. I am unstoppable. Once Sakaj lives again, I will hold dominion over this world. Our old leaders chose to work with pawns. I choose the real power!
Yeah, okay, Boomer. We take the blade, suck the old corpse dry of juice, and learn a bit about how Zira and the other antique fighting relics helped stop a giant devil god titan from stabbing his big meaty sword through our entire planet. This weakened her, and after, she once more supposedly sought the priest out for aid, sucking mortals dry for their blood energy like the little demonic cultivator she is. I'd like to point out, the quests and stories Lore Walker Cho tells you are actually available in the game. You can pick up Zalath as a weapon if you're a priest, and do the quest to restore her in battle for Azeroth content. Cho is just summarizing for people who may have missed all this, such as people who have never suffered their way through a priest character. I don't blame you. Anyway, apparently the high priest who helped Zalath is either incredibly gullible or a force for chaos, as they help her get a body. Someone else's body. But it's hers now, I guess, and now every Gunnar in existence is salivating over that stolen corpse's toes. You're welcome for that image. The gullible chaotic priest then goes forward to collect pieces of a ritual for the blade, asking not nearly enough questions considering the circumstances, and we get lore from a big squishy eyeball with an attitude. Does this calamari in waiting even know how many times I've eaten his face? Does he comprehend such things? I hope so. He will feel my teeth again someday.
Hear me, God of the Deep. I have brought you the open.
That's me.
The bringer of truth.
That's me.
The torch that lights the way.
That's me.
Honor our bargain. Free me to find my own fate.
Go. But the blade must remain to serve my will.
A fair exchange. Shadows guide you, my dear friend. We will meet again. I am certain of it.
I have dreamed your destiny, mortal. The hour is close at hand. That which was sunken shall rise. All that was sleeping shall be awakened. Receive my gift and see all truths before you.
Bad touch. I am calling the police. So you may have thought we were done, but Lore Walker Cho is a master yapper just like myself. Game recognizes game. Next we learn of Zalath in Neolitha, the seat of the Black Empire. For some context, the Black Empire existed before any other civilization on Azeroth. The old gods moved in and took over like little parasites, enslaving the elements and making servants using their own blood. These servants later become the big bug creatures we run across all over Azeroth, just for the record. Once upon a time, they were denizens of what they called a mighty empire, but really it was just a den of hedonism. The old gods sat around feasting on blood and souls and demanded their slaves sing their praises louder, that kind of thing. Honestly, the dream. Then the Titans came and caused a ruckus, sealing the old gods away. But before that happened, apparently Zalath betrayed them and got imprisoned inside that blade. All this takes place like hundreds of thousands of years in Azeroth's past, so it's pretty old news.
For eternally sealed, you shall only watch this world as it gains untold power without you. You shall never lay claim to it.
Eternally pathetic. You are mere pestilence, parading as lords. This is not the end of the game, only the beginning. And I have all eternity to play.
The last desperate cries of one who has witnessed the inevitable.
But that was not all Zalatat said. The tablet states she whispered in a voice only Nazoth could hear.
Consider what greatness could be yours if your siblings did not stand in your way. The offer stands. You need only reach out and claim it.
You get toys and achievements for doing these flashback summaries, so naturally I'm doing all of them. Plus, it's a good way to get some starting gear and experience. It scales to your level, so you don't need to worry about doing it too soon. Up next, we learn about the Ethereals, who are also pretty important to the war within storyline, though admittedly not until later. They first showed up in the Burning Crusade expansion, a mix of enemies and tenuous allies, mysterious figures made of energy wrapped in bandages that are somehow inexplicably hot as fuck. With smash, no question. Their original world was destroyed by a void monster known as Dimensius, who is also inexplicably hot. Back during the Burning Crusade, a group of Ethereals known as the Protectorate were investigating the Ethereum, formerly the ruling class of Ethereals. They'd fractured despite once having a uniting drive to help their people survive after losing their home, and those in the Protectorate were suspicious as to what happened, suspecting treachery. The Protectorate, and their allied adventurers, uncover a horrible truth: the Ethereum was allying with the Void. With Dimensius, the very being that ate their home world, and were planning on summoning it to Outland, the broken remains of a planet once called Draenor by the colonizing Drania, rather than letting it be named by the orcs who originated there in the first place. Nexus King Salad Bar, once hero to the ethereal people, had betrayed them all. He is easily defeated, and drops a measly 76 copper. Puny god. With the Salad Bar depleted, the adventurers and the Protectorate march to where the Ethereum were trying to summon Dimensius, and put a stop to their nonsense. The shard of Dimensius is defeated before it can start growing into a raid boss, and I swap over to stream at twitch.tv/Farisa, where you can hear my actual voice yapping just as much as the TDS does here. We aren't quite done with the Ethereals. You see, the void-dripping Ethereal known as Locust Walker showed up during the Legion expansion, and turned out to be a friend of Eldahlia, a hero of the Alliance who had rarely been mentioned anywhere in the game up until this point. Don't worry about it, they do that a lot. She's one of Sylvanas Windrunner's sisters, and she was locked away in Outland back when the Dark Portal was exploded closed after the Second War. If you want more info on that kind of stuff, I have a 7-hour VOD where I went in depth explaining Azeroth's history leading up to the events of Warcraft 1. I've been told my brand of autism is great to fall asleep to. Locust Walker shows us the Ethereals are up to no good again while also tempting Eldahlia toward the Void for some reason. Not to be consumed by it or to serve it, mind. Locust Walker believes understanding and using the Void is key to defeating it. In that sense, he's very similar to Illidan Stormrage, the first demon hunter. And Illidan was right, the demon hunters and their understanding of fel and demonic nonsense was indeed key to defeating the Burning Legion once and for all. Maybe Locust Walker is right too. Eldahlia certainly seems to think so, as she gives in and embraces the Void powers lurking within her. Me next? Please? I want to be Void Cat. The mist sphincter of memory consumes me once more, and I am not given void powers, leaving me to ponder if I can eat Locust Walker or if just consuming his bandages is enough. The last segment of this particular tale features the Brokers, a people we ran into during the rather disastrous Shadowlands expansion. I have many opinions about Shadowlands, about its good and its bad, and all my opinions are correct. The Brokers are very much like the Ethereals, being focused around trade and barter as a religion. That's right, it's not just their culture, it's their entire religion. It's quite fascinating, really, how deeply trade and oaths are meaningful to the Ethereals and Brokers. It comes into play during the War Within, once they show up again. For now, I'm tasked with delivering a message to Locust Walker in the present, where I learn firsthand that Brokers and Ethereals did indeed come from the same planet. Shocking. Cho is delighted. And with that, this section of our trip down memory lane is done. Give toy. Last but certainly not least, the only other available memory walk with Cho right now is that of the Lich King. This story is very sad, very touching, and needs more than a simple TDS summary to go into all the nuance of. Arthas is one of my favorite villains, and his story is genuinely a heartbreaking tale of how expectations and parental neglect can eventually push someone down a path they never recover from. I genuinely recommend everyone at least do this tale for themselves to get an idea of how meaningful his story was. I'll skip going over it, that's how much I want you to see for yourself what happened to this man, but I will give you context. Long before he became the Lich King, Prince Arthas, heir to the largest and most prosperous kingdom the Alliance had ever seen, with a father that was hailed as an amazing benevolent ruler, was raised to not only succeed the throne, but to be a paladin. He was made a paladin at the age of 19, the youngest ever. Too young. So much responsibility on his shoulders, and as a young prodigy, expectations were piled so high that he became terrified of failure. Uther Lightbringer, the legendary paladin who trained Arthas and was like a father to him, told him at his knighting to always consider the long path ahead, essentially telling the nervous young prince that the ends justify the means. King Terenaz Menethil II, Arthas's father, only told Arthas at his knighting that he was proud of his son, the first time he'd said it to him in 19 years, reinforcing that Arthas needed accolades and achievements in order to earn his father's love. This eventually leads him to being manipulated and gaslit by a dreadlord, wearing away at his sanity with whispers of corruption and taunting failure after failure until Arthas is driven mad, willing to sacrifice his own people for what he believes is a righteous cause. Until it isn't. Many speculate the entire reason the Scourge never overran Azeroth as the dreadlord intended was because a shred of Arthas remained inside the Lich King's mind, preventing that from happening. And of course, we get this tragic death scene with music that will still make me cry to this day.
Father,
I also wish they remastered it.
is it over?
At long last. No king rules forever, my son.
I see
Speaking of voices, I would.
only darkness before me.
King Tyrannus Menethil II had one hell of a voice as well. Oh!
Absolutely a tragic character from start to finish. Anyway, like and subscribe to see more from the Yappy Druid. See you next time.